I was 18 that October. Every morning before school, I rode an old broken bike through Maple Hollow, delivering newspapers. It wasn't much, but it gave me a few extra dollars. More importantly, it gave me something I liked even more: silence. The town was always asleep when I made my rounds. The streets were quiet, cold, and filled with stories no one wanted to tell. Maple Hollow looked normal on the outside. Silence, secrets, or sorrow. Each morning followed the same rhythm. Fog hung low over the roads. The cold air bit at my cheeks. The houses stood dark and still, like the whole world was frozen in a single breath. I liked that moment. The calm before everything began. No voices, no cars, no noise. Just me, the road, and the sound of my tires rolling over damp pavement. But one morning, something changed. My usual route, Aspen Drive, was closed for construction. Orange cones, blinking lights, and a wooden sign blocked the way. I didn't have time to turn back, so I took the only other road I could. Hawthorne Road. It ran along the edge of the woods. I had always avoided it. Not because it was longer, not even because it was darker. I avoided it because of the house. It stood just off the road, hidden behind tall grass and tangled trees. People called it the widow's nest. I'd heard stories about it my whole life. Everyone in town had. They said a woman named Eliza lived there over a century ago. Some believed she was a healer, someone who used herbs and prayers to help the sick. Others said she was a witch, a lonely woman who cursed the town after her husband went off to war and never came back. They said she died in that house, heartbroken and bitter. And before she passed, she cursed the land, said no one who lived near her would ever find peace again. I never believed those stories. Not really. But that morning, something felt different. The air was too still, too heavy. There were no birds, no wind. Not even the sound of leaves moving in the trees. It was like the world was holding its breath. As I passed the gate, I saw her, a woman in white, standing just behind the rusted bars. Her hair was silver and long, drifting in the air like it was underwater. She didn't move, didn't speak. She just watched me, her eyes locked on mine, as if she knew me, as if she had been waiting. I looked away, and when I looked back, she was gone. My hands trembled on the handlebars. I told myself it was nothing, a trick of the fog, or maybe just my imagination. But that night, she came again, in a dream. She stood by my window. The glow of the street lamp behind her made her shine like moonlight, but her face was hidden in the shadows. She looked at me, her eyes glowing faintly, eyes full of sorrow, and something else, something deeper. Then she whispered my name. James? Her voice was soft, familiar almost. She leaned closer, her lips nearly touching my ear. You're mine. I couldn't move, couldn't speak, couldn't even scream. I woke up gasping for air, soaked in sweat. The room felt colder than it should have. I sat up and reached for my water. Then I saw it. A white flower, sitting on my nightstand. I had never seen one like it before. I picked it up and tossed it in the trash. But the next morning it was back. And so was she. Night after night she came in dreams. Always closer, always whispering. She began to hum, a soft melody with no words. Just a tune that clung to my thoughts even after I woke up. Soon, she wasn't just in dreams. I felt her in the daylight. A cold hand brushing my shoulder. A whisper in my ear when no one was there. The sweet, haunting scent of jasmine drifting through my room. And always, that white flower. I stopped sleeping. Couldn't eat. I was slipping away, piece by piece. My mom cried. My dad yelled. They took me to doctors. But every test said the same thing. I was fine. I wasn't. One night, I muttered something in a language I didn't know. My mom heard it. Her face went pale. She didn't say anything, just turned and left the room. That's when they called Uncle Hector. He wasn't really my uncle, just an old friend of the family, a healer. The kind of man who believed in things most people ignored, spirits, energy, the old ways. He came over that night, sat beside me, and held my hand. She's not just a ghost, he said softly. She's tied to you. Then he looked me in the eyes and said something that chilled me to my core. She thinks she loves you. She thinks she found you again. And she doesn't want to lose you a second time. That night we went into the basement. He lit candles, drew a circle of salt, burned herbs that smelled like earth and smoke. I sat in the center, shivering, scared. Then it happened. My body froze.
My head tilted back, my mouth opened, and a voice came out, not mine.
I loved him in 1863, it said. His name was Samuel. He went to war and never came back. I waited until I died. A pause, then a softer voice. But I found him again, in this life, in him. Tears fell down my face. But I wasn't crying. She was. I won't lose him again. The lights flickered. The candles shook. The temperature dropped. Then came the scream. Not from me, but from her. It echoed through the basement, high, sharp, unnatural. And then, silence. Complete, heavy silence. She was gone. The dream stopped after that. The flower never returned. I started to heal. I ate. I slept. I felt like myself again. But sometimes on the quietest nights when everything is still, I feel something. Not fear, not sadness, just presence. Like someone is watching, waiting. And I can't help but wonder, what if it wasn't just a story? What if I really was him? And what if, deep down, some part of me remembers her too?